From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over the world-exclusive new details as more viewers are told by Bernie Sanders' office there will be a fourth stimulus check. We'll be cutting to that reconciliation bill release, the first 645 pages out, and its deliciousness. Checks of all kinds, checks for seniors, checks for workers, checks to care for your home, checks to care for your senior, checks to care for your children, checks for vehicles, checks for cars, lots of checks. I'll be going over the 645 pages of that reconciliation bill in cluster number 1. Then we'll go to cluster number 2 that has an additional 12 checks, including money for paid sick leave. This is on top of the hazard pay that's in the first cluster. We'll go over the cluster number 3 that has even more checks after that. Checks for seniors, checks for workers, and even checks for free internet. Of course, then we'll cut to the big exciting details. As viewers after viewers are told by Sanders' office, there will be a stimulus check. There will be a stimulus check. And guess what? Out of nowhere came this. Word that there may be a push from Wyden's office to put SS-200 in the fourth stimulus recon as well. My goodness, the world exclusives continue to come in addition to the exciting news about $13 billion additional funds for rent and utilities landing in your cities and counties and states this week. It's breaking news from Treasury. I have all this incredible world exclusive and breaking news. It starts right now. Direct and from Santa Monica, California. Let's get to it. It's a big day, and this is LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day across the land. Hope the weather is good where you are. It is cold. I guess winter is upon us now in Santa Monica, California, and September. Yes, the end of the summer is a finality. We are in sweater weather in the morning, in the afternoon, and all day long, practically. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, we'll go over the breaking news and world exclusives. We'll be going over the reconciliation bill, 645 pages of it released. Checks for hazard pay, checks for workers, checks for children, $51,000 of MSCs over 18 years. My goodness, I have all the deliciousness in this recording. Then we'll cut to cluster number 2 and cluster number 3 that pays additional sums of checks. We're likely to see those reduced to a writing in the next few days or hours. Then we'll be cutting to the big exciting details that came out of nowhere with $13 billion of additional funds are allocated to your cities and counties and states across the land for rent under third stimulus. And then, of course, the shockers that continue to captivate a channel, captivate a nation. After this channel got you your second stimulus check, well, guess what we're doing right now? Fourth stimulus. Called Bernie's office and was told they're putting another stimulus check in there. Called Bernie's office and was told they're giving another stimulus check. Called Bernie's office and they said they're giving us a fourth stimulus check. The purple power is working. The purple power is winning. And this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America, live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Afternoons LALATE and Evenings LALATE, and then a whole lineup of programming. Now shows on this channel at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 o'clock at night. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. I want you part of this historic making channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so you get access to all the incredible information about this stimulus. Let's get right into the exciting details about the first 645 pages of that reconciliation bill. The four stimulus reconciliation bills, first 645 pages, details checks after checks, and I have them for you without a delay. Let's get right into them. There is money for hazard pay. There's money for individuals like buying a car, buying a truck. There's money for college students. There's even money to fix your home. There's $51,000 of reoccurring checks over 18 years. There's $4,000 of care for the elderly, money to care for the children, and more. Let's get to the details and the specifics right now. Hazard pay. It's in there, and it's going to be a lifetime. What's important to understand before I go into all the details is everything in there is not pandemic related, so you can just have these benefits whether or not you suffer from the pandemic or are not suffering from the pandemic. Hazard pay will be a lifetime benefit. Let's go over the details of it. Hazard pay was manifested and proposed first under the HEROES Act in 2020. They didn't get it done, so they put it into the third stimulus package by modifying a long-time tax code called the Earned Income Tax Credit. What did they do? They increased the eligibility by dropping the age down to 18 to any age on the high end, and then increasing the eligibility on the pay rate so more people could qualify. Then they took it even better. They raised the amount of money you get each year. This is the modification for the Earned Income Tax Credit for essential workers. Now, under fourth stimulus, they're making it a lifetime. So if you continue to work as an essential worker year after year and qualify for this money, you get this Earned Income Tax Credit every single year. It's incredible, great news. Then, out of nowhere, Representative Richard Neal, head of the Ways and Means Committee, slid in a provision not on my radar. $4,000 a year coming to you if you care for the elderly. A credit of up to $4,000 will be paid to individuals for caring for the elderly. Wow. And then they did the same thing on the reverse side, that if you have to care for children, they will pay up to $4,000 a year. Incredible. Then let's turn to the shocker of MSCs. The word MSC has taken new format on this channel. So I say MSC when I refer to multiple checks or monthly checks. When I refer to Irish checks, I refer to Iris MSC. But how about $51,000 of MSCs? Oh boy, yes. The third stimulus will now be extended to be lifetime under fourth stimulus, so that parents that are in a low-income household will get upwards of $51,000 a child over 18 years if eligible. This is huge. How does this work? If you're in a low-income household and you have a child under age 18, you'll get up to $300 a month every month that you are eligible, and that is from birth of the child all the way up to age 18. So if you remain a low-income household and you're the parent of a child over those 18 years, you will get $300 up to $300 a month every month for 18 years for that per child, which is $51,000 approximately. Wow. Then let's turn to some money for college students. They're going to get money. They're giving you a college tuition grant called the Pell Grant, making it tax-free, and then they're going to give you other grants, and then some going directly to the state and then back to you. How about money to fix your home? Yes. If you're in a low-income community, they're going to give you money to repair your home. This is different than the other home repair, which I'm going to go over in cluster number 2, coming up in just a second. There's a lot of these items in here. Then, how about a car? How about a bike? The federal government will give you 15% towards the purchase of a new electric bike. Huge. Then, what about, that's a bike for personal use, pleasure use, travel, business, anything. How about a car for personal use? The federal government will give you up to $7,500 a car if you buy an electric car from the number 3 auto manufacturers. What about the non-U.S. auto manufacturers? They're proposing something for them as well. We're waiting for those details. And then what about a car for business use? Yes, they're likely to do the same amount. They have that in there, but the amount is likely to be somewhere closer to $8,000. Wow. Then the numbers just keep on coming in. Up to 645 pages, whether it's $4,000 for caring for the elderly, or that $3,600 a year for the child, or the money for the college students. Those are the first 645 pages of a reconciliation bill, which will be upwards of $8,000. There's 2 more clusters. The second cluster of checks I'm going to go over with you has 12 checks in there, at least, including $1,700 a week, including weatherization of your home. That's coming up in cluster number 2. Cluster number 3 is more checks for seniors, more checks for workers, and free internet. That's coming up in a second. But what is this first 645 pages? This first 645 pages is the start of an 8,000-page bill. How do they do this? The way they do this is Democrats negotiate with fellow Democrats verbally, in face, or over the phone. Not on TV, not on C-SPAN, not on the Senate floor, not on the House floor. They say, what do you think about this? I agree. Okay, let's go write it up. Once they had enough items to go write up, that became this, the first 645 pages. The next 2-3 clusters are items that they say they're doing, but they're still working on the terms and conditions. That's why they're coming up in a second. Not yet reduced in the bill writing, but that would happen any moment. Now, I know you're talking about that exciting news. Oh boy, it is exciting. A world exclusive delivered on this channel no less than 3 weeks ago. As I told you, one of the viewers of this channel got confirmation from Senator Bernie Sanders' office about a monthly fourth stimulus reconciliation IRS check. Well, I had told you to pick up the phone and push. And 2 days ago, we had confirmation coming in from Donnie. Donnie, a viewer of this channel who I featured yesterday on Mornings LA, yesterday on Afternoons LA, said the following. He said, I picked up the phone and I called Bernie Sanders and his secretary, and they said they are doing a fourth stimulus check. That's what I need. I need these checks. I need them. I need to progress. I need my water, everything. I told her that I need it. And she said, okay, they are doing a fourth. That was 2 days ago. And every hour of the day, I say, we're making history again. We're pushing. We're getting a fourth stimulus check. This is the channel who got Americans a second stimulus check. This is the channel that's getting the Americans a fourth stimulus check, potentially. Because guess what? Viewers continue to call, and this is what's coming on in. Hurricane Tina. I called Bernie's office, and I got through, and they said they are putting another stimulus check in. This morning on Morning's Countdown, Carolyn Smith said, I called Bernie Sanders' office and spoke to her, the secretary, and told her what we need. And Bernie said they are putting a stimulus check in. And then this. What? Purple Power Yaya. I spoke to another Wyden staffer. Wyden, not Sanders, but Wyden. And they said they want to do SS200 in there as well. More about that in a second. This is getting very exciting. But boy, let's turn to third stimulus for a second before we cut back to this fourth stimulus in a moment. Third stimulus got a big, wonderful surprise yesterday as the Department of Treasury announced that an additional $13 billion is being sent out to your cities, counties, and states for third stimulus. This is huge. It's for the rent, utilities, food, and internet. What had happened was that under third stimulus, the federal government authorized a total payment out to your states and counties of nearly $47 billion for you. But they didn't send it all together. They sent first $25 billion. Some states used it up. Then they sent another $8 billion. Some states used it up. And if you're one of those viewers who reached out to your city, county, and state because of my recordings and they said, sorry, we're out of money. Guess what? Not anymore, because another $13 billion is landing starting today. This is huge. This will pay for your rent, utilities, food, and mortgage assistance. The incredible inspiration stories came in overnight as well. We had Dee Miller, whose name is Danielle. I got an $18,000 for rent for watching your channel. Thank you for, and utility assistance. Thank you for providing needed information. I appreciate that. Dragon got $12,000 for rent and is looking for a total and is getting upwards of $33,000 total. We have Mark and his brother-in-law who got an enormous sum of money. And then, of course, the day before that, Jen got $38,000 for rent. Patrice got money. She got a $15,000. Stay Lowry got $6,000 a year for SNAP, and Lorica got money as well. All right, let's cut back to that fourth stimulus. This fourth stimulus cluster number 2 is another cluster of checks coming to you under the fourth stimulus reconciliation. These are checks that the Democrats have said day in, day out that they're putting in there. They just haven't done the final terms and conditions to writing them. Here are those checks. The first one is paid sick leave and paid medical leave. This is huge. And one thing I want to clarify for the first time today is that there's a separate bill floating through Congress that is different than this that overlaps. Don't be confused with that bill. Paid family and paid medical leave. What is that? Paid family leave is if a spouse has to stay home because you're pregnant from work. Second, paid medical leave is if you have to stay home because your son broke his leg. Again, everything in fourth stimulus is not COVID related. So it's not that you have to stay home because of COVID. It's just you have to stay home because of a family issue or a medical issue. How much does it pay? A godly sum of money. Under third stimulus, they were talking about $1,700 a week for individuals who make $71,000 or more per year. Now, that is walked down if you make less than that per year. So let's do the analysis. Half of that would be $31,000 a year, would be $800 a week. Half of that would be $15,000 a year income, which would be about $400 a week. This is huge. If your son breaks your leg and you have to stay home for work and you only make $15,000 a year, you can get upwards of $400 a week. The next pot of money, the next checks are childcare checks, then extension of household tax credits. Then come some checks for my seniors that are overlapped in the third cluster. Checks for seniors, like checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing, and reduction of the Medicare eligibility age. There is checks for weatherization of your home. What is that? If you live in a hurricane or tornado or a fire area, you know exactly what this is. The federal government will give you checks to weatherize your home. This is different than checks from the first cluster that said checks to fix a home in a low-income community. So yeah, you could qualify potentially for two different sets of checks. That is why there is multiple checks in this reconciliation that you qualify for. Then affordable care subsidies checks, and then here comes the education. Free pre-kindergarten. So if you have to send your child to pre-kindergarten, federal government will pick up the tab. And the next one I personally love. It's tuition-free community college. Doesn't have to be a degree, just community college. And I know you've been saying, what is that kid LALATE saying? Is he talking French? Now you don't have to ask that anymore. You can go take French. You can go to the community college so you can understand what I'm saying. Yeah. They have a class called LALATE 101. What is he saying? Pop quiz at 11. There you go. Then there's other checks in there, like checks for green energy and other stuff. The LALATE stimulus. What the hell is he saying? Stimulus check. Yeah, there we go. In the third cluster of checks, we're going to go over the big money in there for seniors, for workers, for medicine, for free internet. It's getting great. It's insanely wonderful. It's coming up in a second. But let's go over how they get this reconciliation to the spot it is right now this week. It's important to understand how they do this. It's Democrat with Democrat. House Democrat, Senate Democrats. Pick up the phone, say, what do you think about something? I like it, I don't like it, change the number. So the reason why we're waiting for weatherization to be written up is perhaps they want to change the eligibility or change the number, the percentage of the number of years. Once they got that agreement, they say, go write it up. Then they go write it up. Cluster 2 and Cluster 3, I refer to them as Cluster 2 and Cluster 3, but they may produce them both together. And yes, there may be more than just Cluster number 3. These are just some of the items they're releasing to us. As you've seen, a lot of the items in the first 645 pages, I had no pre-warning they were going to come. So you're likely to see a lot of other items in there. Then, once they're done with this, how do they vote on it? How does it become a reconciliation? How does it go to the Senate? I have that details in the second half of this video. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over the third cluster, how it works. We'll be going over the IRS check from Bernie, and we will be going over how to get this incredible money under third stimulus. But first, here's a preview of items from cluster number 3. I know you're excited about them. I am. Here are your checks in cluster number 3 before I go over the analysis after the commercial break. Free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, free internet checks, farming checks. Then checks for clean energy, lots of checks for workers, like checks for independent contractors, lots of checks for seniors, like lowering the eligibility age on Medicare, checks for dental, checks for vision, and checks for hearing care. More about how those work coming up right after the commercial break. Plus, we'll be going to the IRS checks and the breaking news out of Bernie's office. The latest detail on how to get big sums of money under third stimulus. So much coming up in this big Afternoons LA broadcast. I'll see you back in just 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues on afternoon LALATE, direct from Santa Monica right now, as Bernie's office continues to report that he will be giving you a stimulus check in the fourth stimulus package. I have the breaking details in this second half of this video. And then that shocker about SS200, where did that come from? I'll have the latest details on that as well. Meantime, we turn to the third cluster and the biggest payouts we've ever seen on this channel. How much money? It's a lot of it, and I'll go over the details. We'll be cutting to fifth stimulus, and then we'll be cutting back to third stimulus that's still paying people money across the board. And then what we should expect later today. So much happening across the board. I'm really excited for you. It's a great day, and thank you for joining me. And this, my friends, is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. And you're making history once again. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. And once you're part of this family, hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you for the last 3-4 days being our biggest numbers of viewership in nearly 3 months. We're doing it. Do it right now. Subscribe. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Let's cut to the big money that's available right now for you under third stimulus because of that additional cash infusion of $13 billion from the federal government. I'm going to get you money for rent, utilities, food, internet, and mortgage assistance. I'm going to start with our friend Mark, who's that guy that got that wonderful $51,000 from this channel for rent and utilities. He and his brother-in-law got big sums of money in the last 5 days, and I want to show you how the numbers are going bigger and bolder right now. This is money that's available for you, and I'm going to show you how to get this money. First, I want you to get money for rent. We just met Jen, who got $38,000, almost $40,000 of rent. Let's look and see how these numbers for rent have moved up so quickly in the last few days. When we last looked at rent almost a week ago, it was upwards of $20,000. Now at Jen at $40,000, it's just a dramatic change. Look at this. 2 weeks ago, we were at $20,000. Now Jen got $40,000 for rent. Then when we look at the next pot of money, utilities, Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities, showing us we've gone from $5,000 to $15,000 in just about a month. Then when we talk about SNAP, we were at $5,000 about 2 months ago. Mark's brother-in-law got $21,000, a 400% increase on SNAP in just about a month or 2 months. So let's go over all these big sums of money and how you get them starting right now. First, I'm going to show you some introductory comments. I'm going to show you, and those are the following. I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. If 6 places say no, reach out. If one place says no, reach out to the other 6. Reach out to all 6 of 6. Listen to the keywords I say in this video. It makes a big difference. And also, I have new places for you to reach out to that are working. All right, you ready? All you need is a cell phone, a pen, and a paper. Let's get to it. We need some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance starting right now. The 6 places you reach out to are your city hall, your city house authority, your county hall, your county house authority, your state hall, and your state house authority. That's city hall, city house authority, county hall, county house authority, state hall, and state house authority. The keywords you can say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. The great news is that if you reached out to all 6 of 6, and in a rare circumstance you got 6 no's, guess what? Get those phone numbers off that cell phone, write them down, and get ready to call them back today. And tell them I was told that there's an additional $13 billion coming back from IRS, from Treasury, from Janet Yellen to the states. Have you got to the money yet? If they don't have it from them yet, ask them, when are they going to get it? Can I be on the waiting list? I want to be first in line. And this will be yours. Now, also for utilities, I want you to reach out to every single utility company you have. So if you have 5 utility companies, reach out to all 5 of them. Then, one thing that has been a big surprise, I'm really excited, is 3 days ago, I brought the nonprofits back in the mix on this channel. United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. They paid viewers a fortune for rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance in 2020 and early 2021, but I didn't know if they were still paying. And as soon as I brought them back in, one viewer on Morning's Countdown yesterday said, "Thank you, LA. I saw the video yesterday. I called immediately. They said no one's been calling them for the rent. I'm first in line." That was United Way in one part of this country. That's huge. So I brought back that hit show Purple, which went over the nonprofits. It airs every night on this channel at 11:30 p.m. The title is Purple. The image is purple. If you missed it last night, it's currently archived on the channel. Go watch it. But here again are the nonprofits to reach out to if 6 of 6 cities, counties, and states say they have no money for you. United Way, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul, and Salvation Army. Lastly, a brief note is that we are heading into the winter months, and a lot of the places like Salvation Army are already starting getting ready to have their Christmas gifts ready. So make sure you reach out to Salvation Army to get on their list or learn when their Christmas gifts are ready. Most of them are done in September or October, not in November, December, so get ready to get those money as well. All right, let's turn back to Snap. Snap is a lot of money, and yes, you saw Mark's brother-in-law getting $21,000. Now he's going to be sitting on $26,000. Department of Agriculture raised everyone's benefits up an average of 25% automatically in October nationwide. And this is huge. Lynn Glenn got SNAP for herself. Her son and her mom, Gail, got it as well. Why is this big? Because you may have gotten a letter saying your SNAP increase is ending. Guess what? That's because the next one is starting, and the next one is lifetime. It starts in October, and it's nationwide. Finally, the refund check coming back from your state to overpayment of unemployment benefits. Yes, that is landing by direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Average payment is anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 for viewers of this channel. And the last pot of the money is the money coming back from IRS that you paid taxes on the 2020 unemployment benefits. Average payment is $1,200 to approximately $2,000. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. If you got any of these sums of money for rent, utilities, or food, or internet, post in the live chat because you inspire other people. All right, with that, let's cut back to the exciting details of the 4th stimulus reconciliation starting right now. Cluster number 3. We saw it before the commercial break, but some of them are really incredible because they're automatic. One of them, the internet. That would be almost automatic. What they're going to do is give free money, give massive sums of money to the cities so that the cities can run their own free internet company and then offer it to its citizens, residents, for you for free. All you're going to have to say is, what's the username and password, confirm you live there, and you are ready to rock and roll. Then the prescription medication, totally automatic. In fact, you'd feel the impact in your wallet the next day. How they propose to do this? Basically slashing the price of a prescription medication you normally pay for. So let's say you go pay for that medication today, it's $30. They pass this bill next week, slashes the medication. The next time you go to refill, it's $10. Immediately a $20 savings in your wallet. Wow. And with that, let's go into the final 15 minutes of this video with the incredible details that came out of nowhere as more people get those confirmations about your 4th stimulus check from Senator Bernie Sanders' office. We have Donnie. We have Hurricane Tina, and we have Caroline. And then with the shocker about Yaya. What's going on? Let me go over what's happening. I had told you that advocacy is the core of this channel. And in 2020, this was the channel that made history by getting Americans a second stimulus check. No one was going to give it. I came up with the idea of a stimulus check in the CR. I called it CR for stimulus, and we got it in there, $600. It was no less than, what, 10 weeks ago, where people love to say, there's no stimulus check. No one wants to give you a stimulus check. I said, I don't care what you think you're saying. We're going to push and get one in there. And I said, pick up the phone and call. And WR, a longtime viewer of this channel, picked up the phone and called. He called Senator Chris Coons. That's C-O-O-N-S. You should call as well. He's a Democrat. He's a Delawarean. Joe Biden's oldest confidant. Picked up the phone, WR, longtime viewer, and said, I need to tell you why I need a stimulus check. I need it. My family needs it. My community needs it. He advocated. And the staffers for Senator Chris Coons, Democrat senator, said, yes, Senator Chris Coons is giving you a fourth stimulus check. World exclusive. But I didn't stop there. The reconciliation budget bill we're looking at here, so far, the first 645 pages, written by the House side. But on the Senate side, there's another budget committee. And it's called the Senate Budget Committee. The chairman is Bernie Sanders. And he said 3 weeks ago, prior budget chairmen just sort of like to do things in D.C. I like to get out amongst the people. I like to hear what they have to say. I said, that's a call to action, Purple Power, for you to pick up the phone and say, I need a stimulus check. Advocacy starts by advocating, telling your story. What's going on with your family? What's going on with your town? I need it because of this, what's going on with my town or my family or my church or my parents or my son or my community or my business. I need to tell you why I need it. You need to humanize the story. They need to understand the emotional reason why you need the stimulus check. You do not turn them into FedEx tracking. When, where, how, who, why. No. This is not calling up and asking a lot of questions. This is calling up and advocating for something. And Lynn Glenn did it initially. Margaret did it, and Brother Joshua did it. Brother Joshua picked up the phone and called Senator Bernie Sanders' office and advocated for a stimulus check, explaining why he needs it. Brother Joshua is a 2020 volunteer for the community page, longtime viewer, and Purple Hawk. And the staffer told Brother Joshua, yes, Senator Bernie Sanders will be putting a stimulus check in there. Second, it would be monthly. Third, it would be in a range of $1,000 to $1,400 a month. And finally, it would be 3 to 6 months of duration. But there's a catch. The staffer also told told Brother Joshua, he needs to know you support him. Senator Sanders needs to know you support him on giving stimulus checks in this fourth stimulus recon. I said, pick up the phone and call. Pick up the phone and call. One viewer in one of the chats said, I'm praying really large. And WR said, prayer is good, but calling is better. He's absolutely right. And viewers started to call. And here is what has happened in the last 24 hours. Late last night, Hurricane Tina updated us about her call yesterday. She says, I called Bernie Sanders' office, got through, and they did say they were putting another stimulus check in. The day slightly right before Tina, Donnie says, I called Bernie Sanders, and his secretary said they are doing a fourth stimulus check. I said, this is what I need. This is what I need. This is what my city needs. I need it to progress. I need it for my water and everything else. I need it. I told her, and she said, okay, they're putting in a fourth. This morning, on Morning's Countdown in the live chat, Carolyn Smith said, I called Bernie Sanders' office and talked to his secretary and told her what we needed. Help us out here, people. We're losing our homes. Great advocacy, Carolyn. And what they got, and she said, yes, she agrees, and Bernie is also putting a stimulus check in there. This is what you do, Purple Power. He asked to hear your advocacy, and you are so wonderfully inspirational. You are picking up the phone and saying, I need it, my town needs it, my community needs it. I'm telling you what's going on. And as Carolyn says, people are losing their homes. I'm telling you why we need it. We need it. This is advocacy at its real core. Now, along the way always comes a surprise. And this one I still don't know how to digest, because this one's just, excuse me? Purple Power Yaya called Senator Wyden's office. Remember Wyden, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, and Coons are the people you should be calling for a stimulus check, because they all say they want to give it to you, and they're all senators. She called up Wyden, and then this happened. I spoke to another staffer in Wyden's office who said he wants the SS-200 we're promised in there. Oh, boy. My goodness. I don't know what to say about that one. Could SS200 be put into the fourth stimulus recon? That would be the biggest shocker of the week. Uh, never know what happens. Never know what happens when you ask either. Ask Purple Power. Remember, the senators who have your support are Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Coons. Call up all of them. All right, now let's turn to the exciting details of how this manifests. This is very important in view of what we just went over with the senators. I had been reporting over the last 4 months that I had belief that the people who would actually be the author of the reconciliation bill would be the House members. And I think this is very critical. Even though the senators and the House members agree upon things, that the House subcommittees would be writing it. We now have confirmation that that is the case. 645 pages of the reconciliation bill released were written by the House members. Okay, so which side votes first? I am reporting that I believe that the House of Democrats will vote first, not the senators. This is very big, and I think it's beneficial that the House votes first. I'll tell you why. First, the House will call for a vote, whatever is in this reconciliation bill. It'll pass in a blink of an eye. Then it'll go over to the Senate. Well, then you got Chris Coons, told WR he wants to give a stimulus check, Bernie Sanders. We have Ron Wyden, who has always said a lot of stuff about FPUC, and certainly has also said he wants you to have a stimulus check. But his staffers now said this thing about SS200 to Yaya. We have Elizabeth Warren. We have Chuck Schumer, all who want to give you IRS stimulus checks. The senators have the opportunity to modify whatever they get from the House. They can modify in two ways. They can raise the number up or add something in there. They're unlikely to remove something out. Democrats don't like to remove another Democrat's work, but they have no problem adding things in there. So let's say the money for caring for the elderly, $4,000 a year, maybe they'll change it to $5,000 a year. And maybe they'll add something in there. If they do, then it goes back to the House, and guess what? The House is going to say, you added stuff in there, I have no problem with it. The House has no problems spending money so long as the Senate does. All right, let's cut over to fifth stimulus for just a blink of an eye. The fifth stimulus starts writing any moment and then gets to a vote in November. That fifth stimulus involves the reform of the SSI system. What are they going to do? First, they're going to raise your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. Number two, they're going to apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark is inflation. It's going to be transitory, meaning it's going to go up. Consumer goods spending came out this morning, bigger than expected. That would signal perhaps more inflationary pressure, higher inflation. And how high? I'm saying about 5%. So let's do the analysis. First, you'll raise your benefits up, then they'll apply the new benchmark. If the inflation rate is 5%, it means your benefits will go up another 5%, not just next year, but lifetime. Then they're going to move the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 on hand. It's going to go away. They're going to move the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to pair dance at your own wedding, like Rob and Sandy. No longer fear loss of benefits and have your benefits restored. Finally, will there be a fifth stimulus check? There will be. And have you become a Purple Hawk? You need to do so. Purple Hawks are delivered daily from me to you, a breakdown of all the big money available under third stimulus, second stimulus, and first stimulus. It's important to understand that you now see that there's a lot of money on the third stimulus still paying out in September going into October. This money from this third stimulus was a lot of it. And it's important to understand where it is. Daily from the YouTube community page, members are sent from me to them, handwritten by me, a breakdown of all the big money available under first, second, and third stimulus. I detail all this big money because Purple Hawks are now killing it. You see people like Jen getting $38,000 or Mark's brother-in-law getting $21,000 for SNAP, or massive payments for utilities like Dragon got for utilities. These are big sums of money that are available right now. And if you think you got some money for a few months, come back and get some more money because they're paying more months of these money. And now with the cash infusion of $13 billion from Treasury, there's a lot more money for you to get. Wow, what a day it has been. Let's recap. As Nisi and Crystal yesterday said, that's a lot in a video, Alec. It is a lot. We've covered third stimulus, we've covered fourth, and we covered fifth. First third. Third is still paying out. So make sure you get every penny for rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgages you can. If you think you haven't maxed out, go back and get more because more money's landing. Number 2, be prepared for the holidays because they're starting to set in place the money for gifts or have gifts as early as late September. So get ready in line to get those items for the holidays right now from things like United Way and Salvation Army. Number 3. Fifth stimulus, heating up, and that raise of your benefits would kick in next year or late this year. This is a big raise of your benefits, and it would be lifetime. It would be astronomical. And then fourth stimulus. The first 635 pages of a reconciliation budget bill released with upwards of 645 pages of checks. Checks for hazard pay to checks for your home, for your education, for the senior, for the child, multiple checks and even monthly checks in there. But that's not the start. That's not the whole bill. That's only 645 pages of it. Cluster number 2 and cluster number 3 details a lot of other checks that are coming any moment into the final bill writing. Then the push is underway. As Senator Bernie Sanders said, he wants to hear from you, and he's hearing from you. Make sure you call other Democratic senators. So if you've called Bernie, call now Chris Coons, call now Elizabeth Warren, call now Ron Wyden. If you picked up one and you felt, I feel really good that I called Bernie, then call the other ones now. Make the message very loud and clear. Advocate for the stimulus checks. Remember, senators would likely go last in the voting process, which is critical because last in time means the last person to put money in there. Wyden, Coons, Warren, and Sanders. Make sure you call all of them. And meantime, I'll see you next on Evenings LALATE, Overnights Crypto, and guess what? Get ready for a full schedule programming tonight. It's new shows shows on this channel at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 11:30. 11:30 is our wonderful purple show that helps you show you how to get this big money from the nonprofits. So if you need insight for United Way and like that, you can go watch that on the channel. And Overnight's Crypto playing on the channel as well. And with that, subscribe. Thank you for making the last 3 days the biggest days on the channel in nearly 3 months. The excitement's brewing. We're ready to make history. Let's make history once again. Subscribe, be part of this incredible community. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so that you get delivered daily from me to you the breakdown of all this big money on first, second, and third stimulus. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful afternoon, and stay with LA for more.